Welcome. In this video, I'll share with you how I change the oil filter on our Lycoming O-360. I'll share with you the steps taken, the tools used, and the frequency of the oil and filter replacement. I'll cover filter installation and safety wires, and I'll share with you how to use your old oil filter as an important diagnostic tool to monitor the health of your engine. And finally, I'll share with you where to get help. I hope you find this useful. Over the years, I've tried a number of different ways of removing the oil filter from my RV6 without making a mess. I have a Lycoming O-360, and the space between the firewall and the oil filter is tight and almost impossible to remove the filter without dropping oil everywhere. If you have suggestions for me, please send them my way. They'll be appreciated. Here I'm trying to surround the filter with a plastic bag to catch most of the oil during removal. First I loosen the filter and then cover it with a bag. Did it work? Sort of. Not really. I guess it worked.
Well, that was pretty lucky.
On my aircraft, I change the oil every 25 hours and I replace the filter every 50. Prior to installing the new filter, I bend back a couple of the safety wire tabs to make them more accessible after the unit is installed. I then use a little of the used oil to lightly lubricate the ring on the new filter. Next, I install the new filter. How tight? Here is what Lycoming says. The filter should be installed and hand tightened until the seating surface makes contact with the lubricated gasket. The filter should then be turned with a torque wrench until a torque of 18 to 20 foot-pounds is reached. The 20 foot-pound maximum torque should not be exceeded. With the filter installed, time to install the safety wire. Safety wiring, or positive wire locking, is a type of locking device used to secure nuts, bolt heads, oil filters, which cannot be safetied by any other practical means. Safety wire is necessary in areas where vibrations could loosen a part. Oil filters must be safety wired. A piece of stainless steel wire passes through a hole in the oil filter and gives a lock wire load to the filter, and other end ties to the body, so the filter will not get loose itself. We always make sure that the filter is first tightened to the proper torque. Then install the safety wire. Safety wire must never be overstressed. It will break under vibration if twisted too tightly. Safety wire must be pulled taut when being twisted and maintain a light tension when secured. The recommended method is the double wire twisted method. Wire locking direction of tension should be opposing the direction of rotation to loosen the oil filter. With the new oil filter installed and safety wired, time to take a closer look at the health of the engine. One way that we can do this is by looking for ferrous metal in the oil filter. I'll share with you how I cut into the oil filter, how I prepare it for inspection, and what I look for. Finally, I'll point you to the experts, Lycoming and their mandatory service bulletin number 480F, which is dated May 25th, 2017. I use an oil filter cutting tool to open up our filter. I'm not a fan of this particular brand, and I don't endorse it. I feel that it's poorly made, perhaps a knockoff, and I don't recommend the one that I'm using. The point is, there are a variety of different tools available for this particular task. With some experience, I have found it best if I place the filter in a vise, and then I have both hands free to operate the cutter. Again, I'm not a fan of this particular tool, and I think it barely performs the necessary task.
Whew.
Here I'm removing the filter medium. Champion uses a coil spring to keep the filter medium pressed tightly against the base. This ensures that all oil entering the filter goes through the filter. The filter itself is an important diagnostic tool for monitoring the health of your engine. If you just throw away your used filter after an oil change, you could be throwing away a wealth of information about your engine, and possibly even early warning signs of problematic engine wear. Oil filters should be opened and inspected at every oil change. To inspect the filter medium, I need to remove or cut away the medium from the cartridge. I do this with a sharp utility knife. First cutting all the way around, right against the edge of the cartridge, then repeating on the opposite side. With the sides cut, it's fairly easy to remove the filter medium. Now, it goes without saying that this is a messy job. I have found that if I compress the filter medium in a vise, I can remove a high percentage of the oil, which allows me to closely examine the filter for foreign objects. With the oil mostly removed from the medium, I stretch it out on a workbench to visually check both sides for particles. And then I use a good-sized magnet. Here I'm using a magnetic parts bowl to look for ferrous material. So that's how I inspect my oil filter. With respect to what you may find in your engine, please take a look at Lycoming's mandatory service bulletin number 480F. It's dated May 25th, 2017. You'll find it just by doing a simple Google search. This service bulletin covers the subject of oil servicing, as well as metallic solids identification and associated corrective actions. I hope you found this helpful. Cheers.